Awesome. Hey, everybody, welcome. This is Suzanne Gundersen from Screenwritenow. I am an inner story coach, and I help writers and industry talent to be able to naturally de-stress, build tremendous confidence, and deepen their emotional worldview, wisdom, and truth to be able to hook audiences. And so I'm here sharing what I have as my new industry wisdom bit series. And it's really an opportunity for me to interview some of like the top industry talent out there and have them share with us some kind of golden nuggets of what's helped them in their career. So I'm joined today by Matthew Carauddo. And Matthew, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, well, thanks, Suzanne, for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here, and you look great. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. Wonderful.
You
So
bet.
here you are, and I know before we hit the record button, you shared with me a little bit about one of the wisdom bits that you've had over the years that you've come to learn about. So please share with us.
Right, right. So yeah, so we were talking. Suzanne and I were talking about time, and time is really important to me in many different ways. One of them has to do with this. You'll see in the background here. This is kind of a draft of my book cover that's coming out soon, called, as you can see, Diamond Dragons. And ironically, time has a huge implementation in the book. It's really hard to explain. You'll have to read it to find out, but time has been extremely important to me in the sense of you have only so many years on this earth to do whatever it is that you want to do. And it's so easy for us to think, oh, well, let's say I'm 20 now. I got plenty of time to do that. Well, you can't always be sure of those things. I've been to too many funerals, not only for young people, but of course for older people as well, where you realize how quickly and how easily life can be cut short. So, in addition to you just saying, hey, I feel like I should be doing my goals now and working towards them, there's another aspect of it that's really important to me, which is basic, well, two really, is discipline and consistency. And this kind of thought process is not limited to writing or limited to being a doctor or limited to being a actor, let's say. They're just simply these kinds of things that you have to challenge yourself to stay with always, no matter what the discipline is that you're going for. For example, in working out, how many times have
Oh, I
people
know
said,
you're a
"Oh,
big worker. It's you post all the time about how you're always working out. So you're
yeah,
definitely got the discipline.
oh, well, thank you." Well, and here's the thing: is I've done many different disciplines of exercise and workouts. For example, I used to do a sport called martial arts tricking, and it sounds a little bit weird, but you can think of it like high octane flips and twists and kicks, sort of like Jackie Chan style moves. And of course, it was not as high level as someone like Jackie Chan. He's wonderful, but the kind of discipline it takes to learn backflip and jumping and spinning kicks, it takes not only discipline with your physical body, but also with your mind. And you have a high risk for injury. So you want to limit those injuries, which means you can't just slack. You can't just say, oh, today I don't feel like going into the gym. I don't want to this. And I don't want to build the foundations of this technique. It's like, well, then you're not going to do so well and you're going to hurt yourself. So it was important that in order to learn those kinds of things, you remain disciplined and consistent, even when it was
Mm.
hard. Because let's face it, it's hard to stay
Yeah,
at
so that's where, the whole
every
thing
day.
about time comes in, is that you've got to dedicate the time in order to create the discipline to practice and create the discipline to be able
Exactly.
to have this type of skill.
Exactly. And that's precisely the thing is people will say, well, but I don't have the time. And I go, well, that's
Look, all we
really,
get on this planet is time. That's it. You get time. That's it. From the
that's
minute
it.
you're
So,
born, you're dying. So it's like,
exactly. So you
how much
have
can we do?
you have to allocate those times and you have to decide, well, what is important and what is not to me. If you decide I want to take up painting, are you doing this just for the heck of it and you're really not going to commit, or are you like, no, I'm all in? And then the way I look at it is it's pretty simple. You just say, I'm going to schedule it. like I would schedule any other business meeting, or if your children are going to school, they go to a school from a certain time to a certain time. It's pretty much
Right.
always.
They don't just show up late and go, okay, well, I'm here now, right? You've got to have that
Yeah.
structure and discipline about you.
Well, and you can show up late, but as we all know, there are consequences for that. In some consequences, it can just simply be like, "Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I'll recommit a promise to you later." And in other cases, they'll say, "You're fired." You know what I mean? So
Right, right.
there's a lot of different levels of consequences, and some of them are personal consequences. You might say, "I didn't do my workout today," and then maybe for you, you might just be like, "Oh, well." And in other cases, you might think, "Oh, that's right. I got to do double the workout. Maybe make up for this day another time or something." But in any case, the point is simple: is that I feel like you have to schedule the things that you really believe in, that are
That you
also,
want, that you
yeah, and that are
want.
long-term goals. It's not like, oh, okay, I got to do one interview with someone, then you just schedule the one and you don't have to keep at it. But
Mhm.
when you do something like a workout, you have to say, I'm going to do it at 9 a.m. on Saturdays or whatever it is that you're going to choose. Like in my case, I try to do it literally 7 days a week, no breaks, no days off. And
Yeah.
that's can
Well,
be
that's
difficult.
you because you're crazy disciplined. Not everybody would be
Well,
that way, but still, I mean, scheduling and keeping
it's
to a
not,
time, it can really help you achieve goals. So it sounds
it-
like, even though we've been talking about in the context of working out, I know that for you to complete writing a book,
right.
definitely you had to dedicate yourself to having specific writing time and making sure that, you use that you respected that time and that you didn't blow it off. So I definitely appreciate you sharing about time as being something that you noticed and became aware of, and found a way to keep you on task. That
Exactly.
way, you were sensitive to it, and you respected it, and kept going on your project. So thanks so
Yeah.
much for sharing that. And did you have anything else that you wanted to add before we leave? I know you wanted to share a little bit of what's going on with you.
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, the book again is behind. It's called Diamond Dragons, and again, I'm Matthew Carauddo, and I'm both the author and creator of the project. And in addition to that, it actually began as a screenplay several years ago before I wrote the book. And what I did with the screenplay is, after writing it, I went ahead and brought aboard a small team of different folks, some concept artists, a composer who's immensely talented, and a small group of voiceover actors, in addition to myself, to voice the dragons. And I made basically what I'm kind of calling a rough pre-visualization of the first 20 minutes, give or take, of the screenplay version of Diamond Dragons. And that's available on YouTube for free, just for people to kind of experience, well, what is
Oh,
it
that's
kind of going to
great.
be about, right? And then, Suzanne, you can feel free to put a link to that channel there
Yeah,
in
there'll
the.
be a link for that video there, and then also for Diamond Dragons as well.
Yeah.
And similarly, feel free to anybody who's listening and watching, go over to my website on screen right now and download your free ebook copy of 3 Steps to Get Pitch Ready. So just thank you again so much, Matthew, for joining us today and sharing with us your little nugget of wisdom about time. And thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next Industry Wisdom Bit. Thanks, everyone.